Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be discussing the next step in the flexible workflow configuration. In last video, as we discussed a flexible workflow scenario activation and activate flexible workflow at your document type. So these two steps we already discussed. For that, please check the previous video for the flexible workflow configuration. But today we are going to be discussing the next two steps, that is step number 3 and 4 for the flexible workflow configuration. So first, let's go and maintain a task name and a decision point here. So usually in our ECC, so whenever we are going to be releasing that purchase order or a purchase requisition, so we have to have a two release indicators. One is your release and one is your block. Here in SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement, for flexible workflow, we have to maintain a task name and whatever the decision points, means we have to approve that PR or PO or we have to reject. Okay. If we are rejecting that, then here we have to make a that comment why we are rejecting that purchase requisition or a purchase order here. So majorly already in the last discussion, we have already discussed about the whatever the workflow IDs are here. Okay. So today for the maintaining the task name and decision point, we require that workflow scenario IDs along with the step ID here. So let's go and jump into the SAP configuration part for the next step here. So go to the SPRO, then SAP reference IMG. So this configuration now it's under the ABAP platform here. Okay, because this is managed by the technical team, step ID and all these part here. Okay, so go to the ABAP platform. Then next node is your SAP Gateway Service Enablement here. Okay, as you click on that here, again subnodes will be open. Then go to the content. As you click on a content, again we'll get the option here for the task gateway. Click on a workflow settings. Under the workflow setting, we'll get the option to maintain a task name and a decision point here. Okay, so this is the path. ABAP platform, SAP Gateway Service Enablement, workflow setting. Under the workflow setting, maintain a task names and decision point here. As you click on it here, so screen will be open up where we have to maintain a combination of our workflow ID and a step ID. Workflow ID already be aware. In the last, we already discussed what are the standard workflow IDs given by the SAP here for the overall release for your purchase requisition, item level purchase requisition, release requisition, and for your purchase order here. Okay. Now here we have to connect that workflow ID with the step ID, and then we have to maintain our decision keys here. Okay. So click on a position and let's see here what is the decisions we are maintaining here. Okay. So let's copy that workflow ID for the overall release purchase requisition here. Okay. Enter that workflow ID here and execute. So here you can see already that workflow ID, which is already be mentioned in the last discussion. That is our for the overall release your purchase equation here, correct? Which is already aligned with the step ID. So this is the step ID which is given by your basis team. Okay. So we'll ask them to basis consult the step ID for this decision key and point here. Okay. And then we have to assign that workflow ID with the step ID, select that, and then next we have to go for the decision keys here. As we click on it here, so here we can configure our whatever the decision points are here. As per the requirement, we can just able to manage here. So here there are the two decisions. First one, we have to approve that PR. Okay, means there is no any option we not able to put any note here. But if you are going to be reject, the second decision is your what? That is a rejection. So here for the rejection, we have managed that is the node as a mandatory, means we have to put that comment here. Why? We are rejecting that purchase requisition here. Okay. So this is how we can able to maintain a decision key for the purchase requisition, which we are going to be releasing at the overall. Similarly, the second is for your release purchase requisition item level. So copy that. Same process we have to follow. And third is your what? For the same we have to follow for the purchase order here. So what is exactly the purpose of this task flow ID and step ID for the your decision keys? So this is for your push button notification in S/4HANA. So whenever that decisions and all these things parts are coming in a front end, okay, so we'll get the notification here. So that's why it is required to maintain this step ID with the workflow ID, and here we have to maintain our decision keys here. Okay. Similarly, just check for the PO as well. So this is the purchase order overall release part here. Okay, where we can put down that workflow ID and see it here. Okay, so this is for the release for the purchase order, where we already assigned a workflow ID with the step ID here. Check, go to the decision key here. Similarly, here also we have already maintained the two decisions here. One is for your approval of that PO, and second is for the rejection. So for the rejection here also, again, we have maintained that note or comment as a mandatory, means if you are going to be rejecting that PO or PR, whatever, then we have to maintain the reason, or whatever the note is there, you have to maintain the reason why you are going to be rejecting that specific purchasing document here. So for the PR and PO, both we have discussed here. So this is how we can able to maintain a task names and a decision point for the notification in workflow or flexible workflow here. Okay, this is the third step. And now fourth is your what? Client dependent configuration. So here this setting is also which is taken care by your technical team or basis team here. This is also a important step for the push button notification here. So let's explore a path for this client dependent configuration. So it comes under your PO configuration. So we have PR and PO configuration. We have to go for SPRO, reference IMG, and we have to go for materials management. Under the materials management, we have to go for purchasing here. So first of all, we'll maintain that client dependent configuration for the purchase requisition. So search here for the purchase requisition. Under the purchase requisition, we have to go for flexible workflow for purchase requisition. Click on that part, then go for the client dependent configuration. This is for the purchase requisition here. Come to here, and here work client option is available. Select SAP UEFI My Inbox. So here again your task ID assigned to your My Inbox general here. So this is how your My Inbox configuration for the client independent we have to configure. Enter that, change that My Inbox, save it. So that data got successfully changed. Come back, same process again we have to follow for the purchase order as well. If you are assigning a flexible workflow for purchase order, next go for the purchase order. Again, under that, go for the flexible workflow, and there we can get the option client dependent configuration for the My Inbox here. Click on My Inbox. Again, same task IDs are assigned here for the My Inbox and save it. So this is how we are going to be managing a client dependent configuration for the flexible workflow My Inbox notification here. So this is the next two steps which we have to follow for the flexible workflow configurations here. So next, perform task and specific customization and activate push notification button here. We'll see in the next discussion here in our flexible workflow configuration here. So that's it for today. Thank you guys. Hope you like a discussion on a flexible workflow here. To learn new more interested in SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement, please like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel and visit our website www.taxskills.com. Thank you.